Once again, welcome to Brilliant Minds, a virtual learning platform. Due to popular demand and also perhaps just a need, I decided to make a video to talk about these two words, noun and pronoun. And remember, this video is powered by Littlewood's Classic Academy. Like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Right now, so before we get into a few things concerning the noun and the pronouns, perhaps maybe we should define these words. The simplest definitions that you can use, perhaps even for younger ones to understand, we say a noun is a naming word. So, of course, a noun names a person, names a thing, names a place, and so on and so forth. So, mainly those. And a pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. And actually, that definition helps us to understand why this video has been made. A pronoun replaces a noun. Now, remember when you are talking about a noun, of course, you can name a person, the name of a person. You can say he, you can say she, us, they, them. All those are things that you can use to name a person. So there you have the combination of nouns and pronouns. Right. So when you say you want, for example, to know the difference between a noun and a pronoun, if I say my name is, for example, Mutale, that's a naming word. I can also say I. So the I becomes a word that replaces the name Mutale. So I is the pronoun and Mutale is a noun. Of course. So we want to know how to use these words. Well, of course, sometimes it can be irritating, but it's a very common habit. Even those that are well learned sometimes make this very common error. So we want to look at this in the simplest way possible so that even our younger learners can understand how to use these words. Now, remember that a noun and the pronoun together is a common error. So we cannot use a noun and the pronoun together in one sentence. So here's rule number one. Very simple. Do not use a noun and its matching pronoun together if they both refer to the same person or thing in the same sentence. So you can either use a noun or a pronoun, not both at the same time. So we're going to look at a few examples, the wrong way of saying something and the correct way of saying the very same thing. So let's say, for example, you're talking about a doctor. You can say, my brother, he is a doctor. That's a wrong way of saying it. Now, take note, in that sentence, you have a noun and a pronoun. The noun being doctor and he being the pronoun. So, the pronoun replaces the noun. So, which means you cannot use both the noun and the pronoun. I'll say that again. My brother, he is a doctor. Now, that's a wrong sentence. What's the correct way of saying it? So you can either say, my brother is a doctor, or you can say, he is a doctor. You cannot combine a noun and a pronoun. This is a very common error, even for learned people sometimes. Here's another example. The teacher, she gave us homework. That's wrong. Why? Because I said teacher, and I also said she. That is a noun and a pronoun. So what would be the correct way of saying it? The teacher gave us homework. Or you can say, she gave us homework. I'm going to give you a few more examples. Here's another wrong sentence, a combination of a noun and a pronoun. John, he plays football. There's John, which is a noun, and he, which is a pronoun. So you can either say John plays football, or you can say he plays football. Do not say John, he plays football. Okay? Uh, you also cannot say things like my father he is. You can only say my father is or he is. Here's another example, our last example, the wrong way of saying something. The students, they are writing an exam. So take note, you have students and you have they. So you have a noun and a pronoun respectively. So you cannot say the students, they are writing an exam. You should say the students are writing an exam, or you can say they are writing an exam. Now, why is this wrong? Okay, so why is this wrong? This creates a double subject. So two subjects referring to the same thing, that's a double subject. You cannot say teacher and she. The teacher, she. So that's a double subject. Here's another thing or another reason why it's wrong. It's not correct in formal English writing. Even though informally we do use these words in the wrong way. And of course, people still understand what you're saying. The fact that they do understand what you mean does not mean you are correct. Okay, I'll give you another reason. It sometimes appears in informal speeches for emphasis. For emphasis, sometimes you can say, my sister, then you pause. She is a nurse, for emphasis, but it's wrong. Of course, we use it in the wrong way to emphasize on something. It doesn't make it right. Here's a quick tip. If you can remove the pronoun and the sentence still makes sense, remove it. If you can remove the noun and the sentence still makes sense, remove it. Right, so check the screen and try out a few practice sentences that you can use to perhaps show your understanding of noun and pronoun, the usage of the two, and see if you can correct the sentences. Thank you very much. Remember to subscribe to the channel and continue watching our videos.